Firelight Radio, don't touch the dock, 'cause here we go. You're just in time for the show at Firelight Radio. Welcome to Firelight Radio, where we tune into the nature folk movement, and boy, do we have a program for you today. We have Dino from Before Phones in the house. By in the house, I mean at the campfire. Don't be too scared of Dino. I know he's a big, intimidating creature. I think he might be a T-Rex. I'm not sure, because he's a little cartoonish. But you shouldn't be afraid of him. He does eat phones, and he might eat your phone. So you're going to want to be on your best behavior. He's going to describe when and why and if he'll eat your phone. So as you continue watching, hold on tightly to your phone is my recommendation, and do exactly as Dino says. So without further ado, let's go to the show. Welcome to Before Phones, where the dinosaurs roam. Welcome to Before Phones. It was a time we need to remind, we need to refine. Before Phones, where the dinosaurs roam.
Well, hi there, my name's Dino, and I'm a dinosaur. I'm a dinosaur from Before Phone, and that's that geologic epoch. We call it BP. There's basically BP and AP, and BP is before phones, and AP is after phones. And when did that occur? They're studying that, and I'm keeping up with the journal articles. It was probably somewhere around 2008 when widespread adoption of the smartphone occurred. And when you look back before then, you do see some phones in the geologic record, but they were primarily flip phones. They more easily degraded. So there's really not as many phones. When you dig down in the earth, you'll find other fossils, but you're not going to find phone fossils. Where we speculate in the soils that formed post 2008, and they're forming right now, there are going to be many phones in there. And that's how there's the KT boundary between the Cretaceous and the Tertiary. That's where the layer of iridium is. We expect to see the same thing in the BP-AP era. It's the funny thing about me being a dinosaur. I very much think nostalgically back to the pre-phone era. I thrived then. There were many things for me to do that helped sustain my dinosaur stature. I would go for great times, not talking to people, and that kind of nourished me. What else would I do? There were so many things. I would read books from my bookshelf. I would just go out and spend time in nature. It was, in many ways, a slower time, and now in the modern era, it's a little more lonely. You know, people are kind of consumed by their phones. So and there's so many phones around, I find that eating phones is the only way I can. Serves two purposes, really. One, I need to eat, and I thought, do I eat berries? But I look around and there's not many berries. There are many cell phones, many smartphones, and they're so plentiful. I've kind of evolved now to eat these phones. There's one phone in particular, the boogie phone, that is, if I eat that phone, it could cause another period of great phonelessness, because once the boogie phone is defeated, all of a sudden the phones will become, well, we're still working on the theory, but by eating the phones, I think there's kind of a side, the second thing here is there's kind of a thought that if I eat the phones, I could eat my way back to the pre-phone era, because the more phones I eat, the less phones there are. That could eventually also cause a time of great phonelessness. So there was a time of great phonelessness, and it existed basically from, I would guess, 8 billion years ago, not 4 billion years ago, more correctly. And life on Earth started 400 million years ago. Up until 12 years ago, they were really, we can classify as the before phone era. So there's basically two geologic eras in my mind. It's the after phone era and the before phone era. And I'm clearly from the before phone era, and I do think about getting back there. And I do think that there is possibility that another time of great phonelessness could occur. And well, they're just some thoughts of mine. I'm just walking around hunting for phones to eat. And again, my name's Dino. It's good to see you, and I know what you're thinking. Am I going to eat your phone? I'm not, because I think you're watching quality programming. I tend to focus on eating people's phones when they're doing non-productive activities, when the phone is distracting them, when it turns into a boogie phone. When it turns into the boogie phone is when I show up, Dino, and I eat your phone. I'm your friend. When I eat your phone, please don't take it personally. I'm just trying to help you out. I'm also hungry. I do enjoy eating phones, and it might help us get back to that time of great phonelessness. Maybe a better way is if we just have a conversation, and I tell you what that era was like. Maybe that's how I have to evolve, is not so much eat your phone, but if we can have a conversation about what that pre-phone era was like, I think that can be maybe a better way, a mutually beneficial way. I mean, if I eat your phone, it benefits me, but you don't have a phone. On the other hand, if we can maybe just have a conversation, you can feed me some of your time, and maybe that's how we do it. Because time is food, or is it time is money? For me, time is food. You know, we all live on a certain amount of social interaction, and dinosaurs are no different. I know you're looking at me and thinking, you're an unsuccessful dinosaur, but no, dinosaurs, I'll have you know, ruled terrestrial ecosystems for 190 million years of the 400 million years that complex ecosystems existed on the Earth. You know, life existed on Earth, so that's a success. That's very successful. Dinosaurs are the ultimate success story. And that's what everybody's been saying these days, and most of all, me, Dino. I mean, when people look at the dinosaurs, they probably regard me as one of the more successful ones. So thank you for giving me some of your time, and I've decided I'm right here. I could eat your phone, but I'm not gonna this time. No, I just really had such a good conversation with you. I'm gonna be moving along, so I'll maybe see you later, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Welcome to Before Phones, where the dinosaurs roam. Welcome to Before Phones. It was a time we need to remind, we need to refine. Before Phones, where the dinosaurs roam. Well, there you have it, folks. I think that was... Thank you, Dino. Thank you, Dino. And thank you for not eating my phone. As an act of solidarity with the other listeners out there, I was watching, too, the whole time. I held... As much as I know you, Dino, and I know you're just super solid, and I am sometimes intimidated by you, I must admit, but your message, I mean, it really strikes deeply at the heart of what the Nature Folk movement is all about. It's kind of like riding a roller coaster. You know, sometimes you go to the theme park and there's a roller coaster and you're like, oh, that's scary, I don't want to do that, but then you do it and it kind of makes the whole experience worthwhile. I think that's the case with Dino. He's kind of the roller coaster at Firelight Radio. You kind of grab on and you don't know which direction it's going to go, and whenever you're on a roller coaster, you got to tuck your smartphone away, and I think the same thing here. You know, we have to hold tight to our smartphones and use them properly. You kind of think of Dino as just a good Samaritan, making sure you're using your phone properly, and if you're not, well, he'll eat your phone. Good Samaritan might not be the best word, but I think you know what I mean. So, well, thank you so much for tuning in to Firelight Radio, where we tune in to the Nature Folk movement, and it's just real good to have you at the campfire. And this is Guitar signing out, but before I do so, I'm just gonna do a little strumming around the campfire, so don't mind me and feel free to listen.